What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one, the only Ash Brown, and this is the Ash Said It Show. I appreciate all of the love and support. Over 1,800 episodes, 500,000 streams worldwide. All of that is on part of you guys. All of that love. None of this would be possible if it weren't for you all, for all of your love, all of your support throughout the times, throughout the years. So I appreciate you so immensely. Today we've got a treat. We've got an author, a children's book that is out now. The Nat Geo Can't Get Enough Shark Stuff. The wonderful Kelly Hargrave. Hey, Kelly.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here and talk about sharks.
Yes, thank you so much for coming through because I know that there's so much stuff going on. The book has just been released last week. Now we're here. We're well into May. We're well into May, and it's, summertime is coming up around the bend. Families are traveling again, but we want to make sure that our kids are entertained, but also that they're educated and not necessarily with fear and being afraid of things. What I want to talk about first is, what was the inspiration behind creating this book?
Oh gosh, well, sharks are kind of a perennial favorite of kids, as you probably know.
Yeah.
And, I think we all have this same idea of what we think we know what sharks are. We think of that, the great white and the tiger shark with their jaws huge, open, usually with some weird flesh hanging out, which is gross. But, there's over 500 species of sharks. And so they really run the gamut in size and characteristics.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're trying to bring to light here is that, those few big sharks, that's just a few of what's out there in the ocean. Well, of course, it's the way that they're portrayed in the media. That definitely has a big effect. It's been in movies, some of the most enticing pictures to show on social media is usually, big open jaws and all of that stuff. But, that's just a few of the sharks. And I think that's why we're scared. We're scared of them, but we're not part of their natural diet. Humans are not part of their natural diet. So sharks are not out there to get us at all. So I think that's an important message to send home for sure.
Yeah. And you touched on something that makes a lot of sense. Movies like Jaws and, Sharknado and all these other crazy shark type movies are out there. So people have created this fear of this great animal, but are they afraid of anything in the ocean?
So there are sharks that eat other sharks. So that's one thing to talk about. So sharks like great white and tiger sharks and hammerheads, they will eat smaller species of sharks. But there actually has also been some recent research that's been done to show that killer whales have been known to bring down great white sharks. So this is still kind of new research that's being done. But yes, there is something to say that there might be a little bit of fear out there. But great whites and lots of sharks are still apex predators and still kind of the king of the ocean. So they're not going anywhere.
Certainly not. But let's talk about some of those important roles. Sharks play a really big part, and with wildlife out there, can we talk about that a little?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, sharks are apex predators. So basically anything that they do trickles on down. So they have a huge effect on everything else in the ocean. They're also big protectors of coral reefs, which are really important to kind of help protect our shorelines. And there's a huge ecosystem that exists within coral reefs. But more importantly, there's this crazy algae that will grow on coral, and there are these fish that like to eat the algae to make sure it doesn't overgrow. And sharks kind of help regulate that environment by preying on predators that prey on those fish. We want those fish to keep eating the algae so that it's, so that it doesn't overgrow and kill the coral. So that's just one of the examples. There's quite a few, but that's a pretty cool one.
Not gonna go too into it. This is not a music-based show, Kelly. We don't go into all the musicals and dancing and singing, but I will say I went to a birthday party about 2 months ago, and they had a remix to Baby Shark. And I was really kind of thrown off. I was like, are we listening? Yeah, it was the Baby Shark song. They chopped and screwed it. I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to stay in more. Maybe I do need to stay in more.
That song has definitely infiltrated every part of America.
It has. Why do you think it picked up so much?
Well, obviously very, very catchy tune. But also, sharks are just this cool. I actually kind of appreciate the song now. I know it's annoying to hear it all the time, but finally, I think we're having a more friendly conversation about sharks. Where before, like we said, they've been portrayed in media as these big monsters. But I think in some of the songs and some of the videos, it shows them actually as a family. It's like, oh wait, does this shark have feelings? Can it make friends? And it's like, yes, it has this whole environment underneath the ocean that it also takes part in. So I think that's really important to keep in mind, that there's a lot more to learn about sharks than just the way they hunt.
How long did it take for you all to actually gather those pictures? Were you actually like setting up in certain spots, waiting for certain sharks to come around?
Oh my gosh. Well, we're just so spoiled at National Geographic because we've been around for so long. And we've had so many different specialists that we've worked with over the years that we just have this great bank of photos that we can work with. We can send out for new photos if we're really finding a shark that we just don't have a picture of yet,
Mm-hmm.
And that's the cool thing. There are still sharks that are being discovered, which is really neat. So we have a wealth of shark specialists and photographers that we work with, and we have this great photography bank that we can sift through when we come to books like this, so that hopefully we can find the perfect picture to match with the perfect information.
I know that the book it's filled with so many just amazing, really cool facts and things that we probably wouldn't even think about and really wrap our mind around. But for you as the author, what was the most shocking discovery that you uncovered?
Well, I think first and foremost is that how different sharks can be from one another, and how each one has something really unique and interesting to offer. Like the thresher shark is actually, I think, my new favorite shark. I think I have a new favorite shark every day, but the thresher shark is really cool. It's about 9 feet long, and about half of its body length is made from this really long tail that kind of looks like a whip. And it uses that tail, it can whip it 30 miles per hour,
Wow.
which is fast enough to stun like several fish at once and even break them into pieces immediately,
Wow.
which is incredible.
That is insane.
Yes, it's a really cool looking shark. So definitely try and find that picture in the book. And then also I will say the goblin shark, which looks exactly the way it sounds. It's like a deep sea. It's a deep sea shark, and it has this kind of like pinkish look to it, because its skin is translucent actually, so you can see all the blood vessels that make up the shark, which makes it kind of have this pink hue. But the coolest thing about the goblin shark is that it can actually release its jaw outward to catch prey. Like imagine a slingshot being able to kind of like come out of its mouth and catch the prey and then suck it back in. I know, it's
That's
really cool.
amazing.
So just these little intricate facets that each of these sharks have is incredible.
That is just nature. Watching these animals in their natural habitat, it is absolutely mind-blowing. I find myself watching a lot more Nat Geo stuff now. And a lot of more animal.
You can't take your eyes away.
I know, because you're just like, wow, like these creatures, like, how do they know to do the things that they do and to, how they raise their young and, to migrate to different places. It's just so amazing. Why is it so important for kids to learn about and to protect our sharks?
Oh gosh, well, they do so much for our ocean, as we talked about. They have such an impact on our environment, and so we want to make sure that they're not being overfished. That's kind of one of the main things that sharks are. There's actually 100 million sharks that are killed every single year just from overfishing, and that's a lot of that is actually by bycatch. So it's not people purposely going out there and trying to catch sharks. A lot of it just happens to be for our fishing industry. They're out there trying to catch other fish, and sharks just happen in the net and they're just flung to the side. So we're trying to protect things like that, and you can look into volunteering or donating to reputable conservation organizations that are out there that really know what they're doing and are working with sharks. But you can also do things like volunteering for coastal cleanups and then just reducing your own plastic intake, and also just sharing the education of how cool sharks are, that they're not scary, they're actually like real creatures that need to be protected, that have a huge impact on our world. So they're awesome creatures, and we want to learn more about them, and we want to have them around for a while.
Yes, we certainly do. Kelly Hargrave, thank you so much for coming through today. Certainly appreciate you.
No problem.
And the book, you guys, Can't Get Enough Shark Stuff, National Geographic's Kids. Kelly, let everyone know the best way to get that book.
Oh, yeah. You can get it from your favorite bookstore. You can get it online at places like Target.com and Barnes & Noble, Amazon, all your favorite places. And if you need to, you can also go to my website, kellyhargrave.com, and that will point you in the right place to get it as well.
Sounds good to me. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you for your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do. You look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for. They're history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.